There was a deal that was reportedly done with the EFL that was maybe going to go through a week or two ago, but hasn't gone through because is it right that the Premier League can't work out how the distribution of the money is going to be paid to the EFL? Is that right?
I think there's a number of things still to resolve. I don't think it's quite as close maybe as you think it is, but you know, I don't know all the details, but I think it is close. How it's paid for, you know, is obviously one of the things that needs to be decided. So, yeah, you know, hopefully we can get a deal. I think it'd be good for everybody. I think it'd be good to put it all behind us. Good for everybody in football. And it's part of a whole raft of changes, though. You know, they're going to be big changes. So starting from the UEFA 70% cost caps, you know, we'll have to adopt something like that. I know you wanted to ask me about salary caps. You know, all I said at the last thing that was picked up on is obviously we're looking at everything. UEFA are going to have salary caps effectively. So we'll have to have some kind of version of that, I imagine.
Will the salary caps be with a potential for owner top-up, or are you talking a hard salary cap, which obviously the PFA wouldn't like, without the ability for an owner top-up?
I think everything's being looked at, you know. I mean, it's always a balance, isn't it, between sustainability, competitive balance, doing the right thing. And I imagine the changes we make won't be static. You know, we'll try and get it right, and then we'll see how it goes, and then tinker with it again. Look, the most important thing at the moment is that we try and maintain the competitive balance in the league and we make all clubs sustainable. That's the aim. They're quite difficult things to marry sometimes.
Steve, you talked about the financials in terms of getting better players on the pitch. There's a situation with Everton at the moment where, you know, it looks like they've spent a lot of money in the last few years and it looks like they may get hit with maybe a points deduction. Are you frustrated when you see other teams spending that type of money? Do you think there should be sanctions for clubs like that? And also, there's a lot of talk about an independent regulator coming in the next sort of year or two. Do you think the Premier League will come down hard on an Everton or a Manchester City to try and ensure that they don't need an independent regulator?
Firstly, can I just mention Bill, because I was so close to Bill and he was such a great man for that club, and one of only 6 clubs that have never been relegated, you know, and what a great job, you know, he did for Everton. And it's on one level it's sad to see them, you know, where they are with the issues they've got. On another level, he's built an exciting future. Then that stadium will get built. Everton will always be a big club, and there'll be an even bigger club. As far as sanctions go, look, I don't think the rules that we had, this 3-year retrospective look back, were effective rules, because it gave you the ability to, you know, have a squad that was, you know, in breach of the rules, if you like, and then not really pay a penalty for it 4 years until 4 years down the road. Or maybe even think that you could fix it somehow, you know, and so you weren't really in breach. So I think everybody's looking firstly for a better set of rules. People quite rightly feel that if some people are following the rules and other people aren't, that there should be some kind of a penalty for that. I can't comment on whether Everton have or haven't broken the rules. We genuinely don't have that kind of insight. I know as much as you guys. I know that there's a case going on. I'm sure that, you know, they'll get to the right answer with that, and I hope it's fair and proportionate whatever they do.
The independent regulator looks like it's going to be in the King's Speech, which means then it becomes part of legislation and will come in. You've not always been in favour of it. We've had many conversations around it, but you asked a couple of weeks ago, or mentioned a couple of weeks ago, you thought there should be a European regulator brought in. What would be the difference between an independent regulator in this country and a European regulator? Why would you want it in Europe but not in this country?
Well, what I said was I felt that UEFA should regulate the game and not organise competitions. Right. So, I mean, in this country we have the FA. For better or for worse, we have you guys, we have an enormous amount of scrutiny.
You don't want him running the game, do you?
No, does he not? We all think he does.
So does he.
We sit in Premier League meetings, someone ring Gary and ask if we can do it. So, going back to that, look, I think UEFA still got it.
Sorry.
I think UEFA and organising tournaments is a big problem. I think the influence of the ECA is a problem. I don't think that there's the same level of scrutiny that we have here on European football. And it's a big problem for domestic games because they keep stealing the calendar. And, you know, we're already going to see FA Cup replays go. You know, the League Cup's been decimated. In a lot of countries, it's badly affecting domestic competitions. We're more fortunate than most. And I understand that. And some of these things I say are supporting some of our European friends and European neighbours. When we talk about more solidarity money, it's not for the Premier League, but, you know, we talk about 20%, 21%, 25% of Premier League money filtering down. Only 5% of Champions League money filters down to domestic leagues. So I think it's a very different landscape. I think UEFA can properly regulate the game, but I'm not sure they can regulate the game and organise competitions that compete with us.